How are we?
Yeah, it does. Look at it. Oh, no. Very good, thank you. How are you, mate? How are you, Auntie April? Good?
Good, thanks. Yep.
That's good. Excellent.
Good considering, because I just
Yes.
did want to share that we talk a lot about Pop or Uncle Albie, whatever everyone calls him, on our check-in, and we just want people to send in some healing for Uncle Albie, Pop, because he's in hospital at the moment. So that's all I'm going to say. But so that's where Lisa and I are at the moment, and April's on her way back down to Warrnambool. So as you can see, it's very, very cold by what I'm wearing. Not happy about that, but what can you do? So, and it's actually very wet here at the moment as well. So,
Oh, wow. Yes.
so I'm going to hand it over to you, CJ. We haven't seen you for a little while, brother. So
I know, mate.
Week and the week before, and
Yeah, I know. It's going to be interesting in September, so we'll see how we go with that. But yeah, definitely time zones are playing a part of that, but also
yeah, definitely.
a couple of other things. I think we lost power last Wednesday. We lost power here for about 5 hours. Only this part of town, mind you, but yeah, it's all good. That's now great. Anyway. So just want to say hello and also pay my respects. To the people here that look after me every day. I've got made a lot of friends over the short period of time, 5 weeks, and they're certainly lovely country, lovely people, lovely culture. But I want to also mention that I want to send out my regards to my people back home in Yirinji and also Budigal people up the Torres Strait. So I believe that everyone's well. I don't think there's stuff going on at the moment. Maybe the weather's playing up on them a bit. We get a bit off and on weather here as well, a little bit of rain, at night time, but that's about all. Nice days, but happy to be where we're pretty happy. We're in a good spot at the moment, so really good place.
Yeah, stop showing off, mate.
No, it's it. I've got to say, it's been a joy to be here for the last 5 months. And
it's a beautiful spot, isn't it? Really?
Yeah, it is.
The people are beautiful. So, yeah.
Yes. I'll hand it back to you, JB, with that.
Thanks, brother. Always good to hear your dulcet tones, and and good to have you back. You did promise us once that you were going to sing on here as well, and
did I?
I haven't heard that as yet, so I'm just wondering if it's going to happen before Spain.
Oh no, it won't happen before Spain, brother. No.
Okay.
I'll probably have to go and get some lessons in Spain. I might have to do a bit of practice.
Okay, brother. Okay. Well, I too just want to acknowledge the traditional custodians where we all work, meet, and play. And just pay the utmost respects to all our elders, past, present, and any up and coming, and just pay tribute to our old people, our ancestors, for getting us where we are today. Because without them fighting that hard fight, it'd be much harder for us. So we should be grateful for what they've all done, these old people. So that's what I'd like to say. Also, I'd like to acknowledge my mob, Muddy people, and just thank them as well. And now I'm going to hand over to Auntie April Clark. She hasn't been on for a while. And she's going to tell us a little bit about what she's been up to. And she's got some exciting news about a book, about her books and her affirmation cards and all that sort of stuff. So I'm going to hand it over to Auntie April. Away you go, Aunt.
Thank you, Jack. And I would also, I'm a bit nervous now. I don't know why you give me a little bit of anxiety and sadness when you even mentioned my dad's name. I haven't had time, I think, to be emotional all week because I've been managing other things. And then you just saying that and asking for prayers just smashed me in the heart. So I'm sorry.
I actually did see that and I thought, shit, have I said the wrong thing? But I'll stand by that because we do want people to send healing and love to Uncle Albie and Pop.
Yep. So as always, it's always customary for me to also honour, the lands on which I'm standing on and sitting on today, which is Wurundjeri, not my traditional country, but I was born here, my children were born here, and my grandchildren were born here. So I'm very grateful for or that's been provided from Wurundjeri lands, and I pay my respects to my mob back down in Warrnambool, where Jack and Lisa are currently sitting, and also to where you are, CJ, and my lovely Alaskan family. I've always got to pay tributes to my Tlingit and Haida mob over there, and to all peoples across the world, really. And I also got a side message, which also gave me a little giggle. My oldest son, Nathan, if you're watching, just put in the family group chat, "Oh my God, watch Mum, she's on the live." So to the brothers, and as it's not been hung shit on, you're not loved. So that's what they're doing at the moment, having a little fun there.
100%. 100%.
But I just want to share, and I've firstly got to apologise, CJ. You asked for children's books, and I never sent them. And probably just as well now, because you're not physically there.
Yes.
To receive them. But maybe when you get a permanent address again, I'm happy to send them on. But
I can send you an address, and you can send them on if you like. I can do that.
Hey, all right, you too, hey. Hey,
happy to do that. But today, CJ, I'm talking about, as you know, when I hop on your lives, I've always got a new thought or a new project or something that I'm getting up to. So I moved to Halls Gap 5 years ago, and when I moved there, I was hit with, just before COVID had come in, as my whole family was hit with 5 close deaths. And it's always customary I help out with the funeral arrangements, so that also delays a little bit of the grief. And plus I moved house for the first time ever, moved away from my children, turned 50. It was all these changes that just happened, and it sort of hit me, and I went on a bit of a downward spiral. I actually left my job that I had been part of and had seen them as my family for like the last 25 years, because I'd been in and out of that job. So that was another big lot of grief that I was carrying and didn't really acknowledge. And I believe that Spirit gifted me ways to do healing on country with myself. And so then I wrote, over the last number of years, this book. It's called, I just named it 52, because what you get with that is 52 cards. And most people, you have an affirmation card, and it's nice, you read it for the day. These cards, the intention is you ask Spirit, you ask Ancestor, Creator, whoever your belief system is. You shuffle the cards and you ask them, what do I need support, guidance, or learnings for this week? So you shuffle them, you pick one, pick 2 there. Oh, so this one is dance. So it was a way, I think, for Spirit to reactivate me back to life and living and out of the mourning and the grief, because as you know, we can get grief so different for everybody, and we can get stuck in it, longer periods, shorter periods, hits us when we least expect it. So 52 was channeled really quickly, but it'd been sitting there for years. I just didn't activate it. So so you get the card, you read the quote, which is nice, and then you sit it there somewhere where you're going to see it, and then you go to the book and you connect that to dance, and it will tell you what you need to do for the whole week. So that it's always, it's hoping that it will help create different pathways in your brain, and different ways of being and doing very different things. And I'm sure in here that I put dance is a way of your body expressing joy. So, dance everywhere, dance in the car, dance in the house, dance wherever you are. If you feel like dancing, even in the supermarkets, if you hear music and, when they play that, especially the 80s for me, I just want to dance. So, and it allows you to feel joy in your body, because with grief, you often feel guilty if you're starting to feel a bit of joy and life. Because you're grieving for the one that's been lost. That's my personal journey with that. So I wrote this to gift to people in a sense of get their life back, to help remind them. And it doesn't matter And it was written also through COVID when we were in lockdown, and remembering Victoria was the most lockdown state in Victoria. So it was written in that context of it doesn't matter if you're in lockdown, doesn't matter if you have money, you don't have money. A lot of these activities are things that you do with yourself. There's also some in there that you could do with friends or family, make it like a little family activity. And it's called 52 because you just have 52 cards. So for a whole year, you have a year of activities to help you grow. Absolutely. There's some nice, soft, fluffy ones, like the dance is nice, I think, and there's some there about honouring sky, and then there's some other deep ones around boundaries and space.
Fantastic. Can I just jump in, because already we've got about 10 comments, so I just want to read some of them. You can read those ones, CJ, up there if you want, and I'll read you a few that we've got.
Okay. So, Derek, g'day, Derek. How are you? G'day, brothers and Auntie April. G'day, everyone. Thoughts with you, Auntie, and family, sending lots of spiritual strength. Also, he said, greetings, April, from my 90-year-old dad, whom I had the pleasure of working with your extended family back in the late 1980s. So Derek Wilson's extended family, or your extended family. He also says, love the concept of engaging with dance. I still dance with my son and daughter who passed away 27 years ago. I know they're with me. So, yeah thank you, Derek.
Thanks, Derek. And hello, Derek, as well. I've got a few here. JJ Bullman said, sending love, Uncle Jack, Auntie Lisa, and Auntie April. Love you guys. Letitia Hatter said, good to see you back on, live yarning. Jenny Wood said, hello, everyone. So hello, Letitia. Hello, Jenny. Tasha Clark said, hey, Auntie April. Anthony Carana Jones said, hiya, my first check-in. Hello, brother. And say good day to Vanessa. Warren Towney said, Yama mob laying up watching yesterday in bed, caught influenza B and feel every bit of it. But at least I got something good to watch now. Oh, thanks, brother, and good to hear your voice. Liam McCullough said, our beautiful, kind, generous Auntie April. Love her heart. Jenny Wood, is watching. And then Leanne said as well, 52 has changed my life. I asked my ancestors what I need to know that week. It's changed my way of thinking. It's brought so much peace to me. It connects to positivity. And we've also got Lisa Bullman watching. Hello. We've got Taylor Motter watching as well. Hello, Taylor. Tay. Jenny Wood and Lisa said, hello, Auntie Girl. So,
hello, Auntie Girl. Hello, everybody. Yeah. And thank you, Leanne, for your little testimonial there. And Vanessa, you'll have to get my email of Jack there if you want to order one. And CJ, I actually sell it for $52. So that equates to $1 a week to potentially change your life with self-love. That's what I say on here. There's no greater love than self-love.
Yes, there you go.
So cough up, CJ.
Yep. So for anybody out there,
I'm joking.
Can I read to you what I got from Dance so people can see how it works? So like I said, when you pull out the card, so this quote says, take every opportunity to dance, let loose, let your body be free. Dancing is your body expressing joy. And then the weekly activity is, so then you would go to, so you see it like this. Mm-hmm. So you got the activity and the quote beside it. So it's really easy to follow. So you could do it where you shuffle and pick your card, or if you wanted to, you could just go off the top of the card through the pack. It's yours to decide. It's really your way to do it. So the activity aligned with dance, it says, this week is about movement, getting your dance of life on. How many times do we hear a song and our body wants to start to move or sway? How many times in a shop do you hear a song that you love and you just want to start singing or dancing? This week you will listen to your body and just do it. Dance, move, be free. Every day I want you to dance like the saying, dance like no one is watching. Dance in your car, dance in your lounge or kitchen. Even dance down the supermarket aisle. Put on your favourite music and be free. I love the 80s songs, and I will dance my heart out every time I hear 80s music. Invite some friends or families around, or even go and create a new dance craze on TikTok, Instagram, any platform you like. Be creative, be fluid, create your dance of life. Notice how great it feels to move your body and how your energy responds to movement, dance, and freedom. So that's your weekly activity. That's one of them.
Oh wow, that's pretty cool. Pretty cool. I must confess that I've been places where there's been some music that sort of, I really enjoyed, and I never danced to it because it's there, you know what I mean, and I'm listening to it. I like listening to the music, but yeah, maybe something that I can practice, build into my routine. Yeah.
You and Michelle can listen for a week, when you can dance together, dance separately, or even it doesn't have to be full body movement. Even if you're not bodily able, you can move on the chair. Like you can still, even when you tap to a song or your hands tapping, that's still your body expressing that connection to that music.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I'm going to have to maybe, see what Spanish music's all about. So that'll be nice.
Oh, that's beautiful music. I've been to Spain. I loved it.
Yeah, that'll be good. Yes,
yeah.
Yes. So looking forward to that. So, no, good. I think that's a fantastic aid, if you like, something to provide you to support you through the day and through the weeks and everything like that. And it's really, it was interesting that you said it came from feeling down. You know what I mean? It just came out and said, well, what am I doing? I'm going, I'm not feeling good. I just need to do something and get up and go and, look at the cards and which will help you out. So fantastic. If looks like you might have a couple of orders there already. I think Derek said he'll be ordering.
Yeah, Derek did, and so did Jenny Wood. She said, "Where can we buy your book, Only April?" So what we might do is we might put a link if we're able to in the comments.
Yep.
You can do that if you like, or you can send it to us and we can put it up for you if you like, and then people can order as they go. I think so.
Thank you. And part of after you've got the exercise and the quote in the book, then I've also just got like plain pages, and I did it deliberately where it wasn't overwhelming. I've seen a lot of great books, but they've had so much work you have to do in filling them in. And I know that when you're already challenged mentally because you're feeling down and out, or you're feeling a bit lost or challenged, or when you maybe want to, I don't know, vent out, you don't sometimes have the capacity to be filling out multiple things in the journal. And then I was fearful that people then would put it away. So I tried to make it really simple and something that you can action without being overwhelmed already. There's so many in there. That's my favorite. And actually on the back, I have where is these beautiful people? Okay, I have a quote from Mibinbar, because Mibinbar actually went through and was editing it and reading it and seeing how it read. Lisa says she doesn't have a favourite, unless you want to put in the chat there, Lisa, which one is your favourite. But this is what the quote is from Mibinbar. This life journaling book is a gift that April Clark has created with a grateful heart. It is a life companion. Oh, hang on, sorry, that's the wrong people. Sorry, read.
I don't remember writing that one.
Yeah, I know, hang on, sorry. So this is from Jack and Lisa, sorry, restart, take 2. 52, what a joy. So many amazing gifts and a beautiful healing gift to the world. I loved all the themes and activities it gifted us with. Can't say I have a favourite, as I love them all. It created a space to slow down and feel deeply. A journey of joy and playfulness to move through this journey of life. Thank you, April, for being so brave and sharing your beautiful big heart. From Lisa Bullman and Jack Bullman, Mibinbar Spirit Healing Organisation, Australia Aboriginal Health Charity.
Can I just say
about it?
Can I just say too? Like I think there's so much in it, like, and it doesn't matter what you're trying to achieve and how you're feeling. You know, you might be feeling a little bit disconnected. You might be feeling not grounded. You might be feeling sad. You might, whatever it is, pick them up, have a look, and I can honestly say to you that whatever card you pull will certainly resonate with whatever how you're feeling and how to actually get out of that. So, you know, you might be stuck in that hole, if you like, and you have a look at that, and there'll be little things, little tools that enable you to get out of what you're sitting in.
And at the back of the book there, I also have, of course, all the helplines, because you're doing the work yourself, so you will get out of this as much as you want to actually put into it and do the work. The ladies in Alaska love this book, so it's gone far and wide, and that's being used. There's one there that I love, and it was about space, and it's not the sky space, but understanding space. How many times, and it's written, let me say first before I say this, with a cultural lens. So it's also picking up about our cultural obligations and how we have a lot of expectations and cultural obligations where everybody else is, in a sense, more important than self. How do we manage both of that? And then also part of that I also took into consideration for me around cultural law, when we talk about, do no harm and be in balance and connection with everything. I think also we need to honour self with that, because we often look at that when we talk about that externally. What does it mean to do no cultural harm on other people and the environment? But where do we fit in that culturally? So there's an activity there around, I call it the bundle. So bundle's our creator, our eagle. And even for the week, you're challenged for that week to fly like Bunjil above all situations that are happening. And I think I need to fly like Bunjil this week, not get involved in the drama or the minutiae, and fly above like Bunjil. Bunjil is so clever and sees so much, our creator. He flies above it, knows what's happening, but doesn't get involved. So looking at that from that cultural lens, how do we do that? And for some people, there you go. For some people, that's really challenging not to do that. But also that comes with that is awareness. You can't change anything if you don't have awareness. So even that week might challenge somebody. I can't do that. That's really challenging. So then you look at, what do I need to change?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and it sort of fits in really well too. You're talking about Bunjil, the creator. Mibin means eagle in the Eastern Yugambeh language, and CJ's got his sea eagles.
It was just here, and we're talking about eagles, and I saw you got it.
Yeah, and there. Yep.
Yeah, I know.
So it all fits in, and I must say, April, I was feeling a little bit for you when we first come on, and I just got that feeling that you are not just feeling sad, but a little bit not grounded. And when you started to talk about the 52 and everything like that, you just come back to us. So it even helps ourselves, even though you're the creator of this. It's actually helped you sit in this space and be able to come back to us and explain it so beautifully.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. It can change everything for you when you pick up the book and pick up a card and work out what it is that you have to do. It takes you away from what you're dealing with and into something else, and changes your mode, your mood. Yeah, so it's excellent. Fantastic.
I've got a couple other comments there too. Jeff Senton says, "Is this book just been developed for the mob only?"
No, Jeff. So as I said, my Alaskan sisters have it, even though they're Indigenous. They're still not Australian Indigenous. So we have some things similar, some are different. I've also had, and many non-Indigenous people actually purchase the book and use that. It's just It's designed with Aboriginal design that my other sister girlfriend, Angie Lee Bamblett, designed. So it's written with that, but it is health and well-being and grief is a universal issue that we can address. So it's not written just for mob, but thank you for that question. It might look like it because it has that lens, but there's some things there that mob probably do a little bit different around boundaries and things like that. So there's lots of learnings that can be used across any of the topics and themes. But thanks for the question.
Also, we've got Vanessa Jones. She said, I need to dash off for a training run, visiting Garrowwood again for the GPT 50 in November. So must get some training in. Thank you for sharing and look forward to purchasing.
Yes. So Vanessa actually said that she's had it on her list to get since 2023. So when you met at the gathering. So yeah, she said, I've got to get a copy of that.
And let's get behind Vanessa too for
definitely
going to run that 50K in November. I do apologise, Vanessa. We were going to run that with you. We probably left our run a little bit too late. We've been pretty crook with that RSV or whatever it's called, and just haven't been able to run. So, but we will get back into it, and we will be there to support. Try and be there to support you, and I'm sure others will be there to support you as well.
Do you know what date that is, Jack?
I don't. I probably do, but I just can't think of it off the top of my head. So, no.
I should know that, but yeah, hopefully I'll get to see you this time there, Vanessa.
And
maybe I'll give you a smoking before you take off so you're protected.
Yeah, I think that'd be fantastic, huh? And Stephen Simpson said, hey all. Hello, yes, brother. How are you?
Hey, Stephen. Yep. And also, Derek said he's got a question. Arnie, have you offered to sell to not-for-profit mental health services or disability support those cards?
Derek, another great question. So I've had conversations with not so much particularly mental health services or disability support, but if you can help with that, I would love that. I actually haven't done a lot of promotion on it, so that's probably bad on my part. But I've spoken to people at VARS, the Victorian Aboriginal Health Service. There's some people now within the men's prison system that will be looking at the packs and have got some orders in, some universities. I also volunteer for a not-for-profit, which is Allied Health and all things mental health and wellbeing. So we'll be using that there as well. And I'll be looking from that service, which will be running in Reservoir by the end of the year, to run weekly 52 sessions. So we can actually guide people that have bought the book and want to have a bit of a deeper yarn about it and feel supported. So that will happen there as well. But would love to get it into those other spaces.
Fantastic.
Gentle as well.
I've got a couple other comments here too, Arnie girl. Anthony Karana Jones said, sorry team, got to go. Footy training beckons. And Lisa Bullman said, I'm heading back up to the hospital. So there you go.
Very good.
Love my sister. Lisa is my sister. Not my niece, my sister.
Yes. Very good. Yes. So tell us what else. What else have you got? What else have you been doing, April? Like I know that the last time we toured up, we had a really good conversation about what is it? The head injury stuff that we.
Yep, the CTE. So that's become a bit stagnant, CJ, because I'm willing to. I think I volunteer more than I actually get paid work. But anyway, and I really, really want to do this. We did seek some funding to get support from some other professionals that could come on board as well, but I haven't let it go. I still want to do more promotion and awareness around CTE, not just in sports, but through family violence and domestic violence, because I don't believe that it's spoken about enough. So that's also through even like choking, physical assault. So we will get there at some point, CJ. And as soon as I've got something substantial, I'll be contacting you both and say, hey, can I get online and start talking about this again?
Yes, yeah, definitely.
But,
it's funny you say that, CJ, because April and I only had this conversation the other day. So
really, yeah.
I was wondering where it was up to as well. So
it was one of those things, when you mentioned it, that when we talk about CTE, it's really we're thinking about head knocks in sport, and the what do they call it, the head bin or something now, or concussion stuff. Yeah. So it's pretty much right across each of the codes, I guess. But when we talk about it in daily life and weekly, and life in general, it's
you don't hear about it, CJ. Yeah. And
can I there's a couple other comments as well. I just don't want to miss them, that's all. Derek said, I'll yarn with friends working in not-for-profit and send them email. And Jeff Senton said, as Jack would tell you, I'm huge on veterans' well-being and health issues like PTSD, and I am Wiradjuri. So well done, brother. And yes, you are a real go-getter for veterans' well-being and in things like that, and health issues as well. Stephen Simpson said, CJ, Jack, you brothers are still rocking it. And then he said, where are you located, April? I missed that.
I didn't say, because I'm from everywhere. I'm everywhere. I live in Garrywood, the Grampians, but I'm often in Melbourne, just come back from Warragul, so I'm pretty much here, there, everywhere. Yeah. So, yeah. And to Jeff's question there, I can tell Jeff that in Reservoir, Melbourne, where I'm setting up this not-for-profit wellbeing space, we've just made partnerships with the Reservoir RSL, which will be great. So I hope to work a lot closer with their veteran service. And the local councillor there is Connie, and she's pretty well known in the veteran space because she's advocated quite loudly and proudly for veterans. Her partner had suicided as a veteran, so she's only quite young as well. So she's been personally impacted in that space and is doing a lot of work around the veteran space. So we're also open to working there as well.
It's interesting, because when we talk about veterans and some of the trauma that they've experienced in their lives, it's really difficult sometimes. And probably Jeff would probably say this as well, that getting away from thinking about those traumatic events. And it's always because you've seen it and done it. I went up to Bathurst Island probably last year sometime, or this year sometime, and there's this like a funeral just about every day, every week. You know what I mean? And so they're constantly in trauma all the time, which has become kind of normal, which is really, really, really sad, because it's not normal. You know what I mean? It shouldn't be normal, any of that type of stuff. And someone asked me, how do we get out of this? How do we break out of this? This traumatic sort of environment. And definitely some of the resources you've got, especially that one you've got there, 52, might be great for some of those communities to sort of pick up, and because it's actually trying to break a cycle of things. You know what I mean? The way they deal with life and death and loss and trauma. And it's becoming so normal that it's how do you say it? It's becoming people aren't being respected in a way. You know what I mean? In the way that they should be respected. So
yeah, definitely.
It's very difficult. Yeah, very difficult indeed. But things like these resources that you've got, which helps us to sort of think about other things whilst we're, spiraling, I suppose. It's good to sort of have a look and have a go and, into something else, I suppose. So to break that cycle, break the way that will give you a rest from, feeling down, I guess. So yeah. So, but it's a much needed resource. All I'm trying to say.
Thank you, CJ. So that's really important. I think how we become stuck in a cycle that becomes so normal that, and I often hear spirits say that to me when I'm feeling repetitive or something's happening, I hear this little thing, get out of the quicksand, because you're just being stuck in that same repetitive. But a lot of the time in our space, specifically speaking in the Aboriginal space, a lot of the time in the work that we do, we're working in that deficit space. And a lot of time that becomes so normal that we forget to actually, not people like us, but there's lots of other people that might forget, what does the total opposite of that look like? And I think we need to remind people and show them a total opposite, because if they don't know, because that deficit or that lack is how they operate and function. And then with a lot of lack comes fear and all these other things that connect with that. And what reminds me of that, I sat in a wellbeing workshop once and they were talking about fight, flight or freeze. And I said, oh, can I just give a different perspective for that, for someone who's going through a lot of healing and doing a lot of actively doing all different types of healing. I view fight, flight or freeze different for myself now, because I've been working through things like fight is, I changed the language. Now I'm standing up for something that I believe in. Flight is, again, spirit telling me, get out of the quicksand and move on. You don't need to be here now, so move. And freeze is, it could be for me, I actually take a little bit of time to process it. So there is those three things that really impact people with trauma and abuse. But let's also start talking about what does that opposite look like. When I say I'm standing up, I'm not fighting, I'm just moving out of a situation now. I'm not flighting, and also I'm not freezing. I'm actually not being reactive, because I'm taking time to think about it and process it before I react. And even the facilitator said, I've never heard that before. Never heard that before. And I thought, well, for me, I always try to flip the narrative. Yeah. When something's not good happening in my life, I always go to, what is the total opposite of that? What does it look like? And what am I learning from this? So, and some people don't have the capacity to do that in mentally, and I know that because they're so caught up in that. But I think if we can start planting seeds of what does the total opposite look like, it can show them that they're moving forward to something.
Yeah.
And that's really important, isn't it? I mean, as you say, I mean, a lot of people, some people mightn't have that capacity to be able to flip it like you say. So, you know, and some people, you know, we talk about addictions, and drama is another addiction, really, isn't it? And that's what happens with a lot of people. They get caught in the story, the negative story. And with that negative story comes drama. So that's what they live day in, day out. So I think what you're saying is absolutely spot on, and needs to be talked about more. So, and that's what we try and do in our workshops as well, is talk about, you know, celebrating the little wins, the little things that we're doing well, because I can guarantee everyone on here is doing something that is positive, and it's not all. We always hear about the negative shit that happens in our communities, so we don't need to hear any more about that. Yes, we can remember the trauma and all that sort of stuff, but we need to be able to move forward and celebrate what we are doing well. I've just got another couple of comments here. I know they're not coming up there, but
can I just say just quickly, Jack, before you jump into those comments, when you've said that, you've also prompted me. That's also a weekly activity in here, celebrating wins. Yeah. So for every day, they've got to celebrate a win. We have a win somehow, somewhere in the day. 100%. So you just reminded me that's also another activity. So thank you for reminding me of that.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
I was going to read this out. Warren Towney said, definitely grabbing a copy. A lot of sorry business lately, especially within our family. Losing our mother only 3 months ago. I have a lot of tools on how to manage life and accept life on life's terms. But overcoming the loss of your mother is something I'm struggling with. So please send a link so I can grab a copy, my sister. Thank you, my sister. And yeah, I mean, Warren, I mean, he'll come back on Monday onto our live, and he is such a genuine fella that he's just an amazing lad. He's overcome a lot, and you know, he still holds a record for our number of views, I think, CJ, and that's going 5.5 years, and I think it was about 8,000 views when Warren come on, and and told his story. So just absolutely beautiful, Warren. So thanks for sharing, brother.
He must have been telling the mob weeks beforehand, I reckon.
Yeah, I reckon he did too. He's got plenty of family, so I reckon he told all his family, and they were all on there, right?
Yeah. I hope he gets better anyway, mate. He sounds like.
I hope you're feeling better, brother.
I'm sending you lots of love and support and strength.
We've got a couple others there. We got Stephen Simpson said, "I love the Grampians." We've got Ross Bullman watching. Hello, brother. He said, "Good work, lads." And April and Stephen Simpson said, "More vets have taken their own life than killed in action. As an ex-ADF member, I have seen the effects, and the issue is transitioning and support." And then he said, "I mean recent deployment, not overall." And then he said, "As a narrative therapist, the problem is the problem, not the person."
Very good. Yep. Derek's also gone on to say that your book, definitely, Arnie, your book supports people. Principles are transferable across cultures. So I think in response to whether it's, for mob or not. Jeffrey said, "I can tell you that one for sure. I live this most days. Self-healing is very difficult in terms of that trauma, that's happened. PTSD, of course, being a big part of that. I see from the comments. And Vanessa Jones. Derek was replying to Vanessa Jones. Sorry, you're having a bit of a conversation.
And I've got one more here from Warren again, Warren Towney. He said, "Thank you, mob. And yep, I'm still telling them all to watch it. Lol."
Good on you, brother. Yeah, good on you, brother.
I love it.
Well done. I was seeing him out the footy. He'd been watching Canberra run around. Jeez.
Yeah.
No, he's loving it.
No, very good.
Very good. Yeah. No, it's it's kind of like some of these resources like you've got only really needed in a lot of places, and I think that if we can, like you've said, we've got Derek talking about it, Jeff talking about it, we've got a few people in there talking about it, I suppose. So it's about how do we get that out there, and if you can put the link in, we can share the link and to organisations and people that we know that would love to have a copy of that. I think so. That might be a good way of doing it. Yeah. Fantastic. Yeah. So what do you
now, April, what do you got coming up in the future?
What's planned?
I'm also doing, and I think this is why I also love 52, because it helps myself as well, because I'm currently doing a project on our tribal group, Eastern Mars Ancestral Remains Repatriation. So doing a bit of work around that and being in the library, going through all the old journals and the stories. And I've noticed how I'm lucky that I can have conversations with my body and know where that heartache of reading these documents then manifest in my body. So I acknowledge that, but I'm also grateful and thankful that I run chiropractor clinics weekly. So I make sure that I get a treatment as well. So it's self-care. And I'll talk to the students around, the chiropractic students around how we as Aboriginal people carry a lot of trauma and from past histories, but also, even though I'm doing repatriation, that's bringing it now into the future because I'm still doing it and it's manifesting. So I talk to them around, really connecting. I actually really naughty, I think, CJ. I get them to unlearn what they've learned a lot at uni. I get them to learn the space of spirit and energy and connection.
No one will hear that, April, so that's okay. You can say that here because it's we've got a safe little space here, so no one else will hear that.
And I love it. So, and I talk to them even about code switching because there's certain words in clinic that I say you can't use in this clinic. And have I said this before to you guys around that?
No.
Chiro stuff. So
we won't talk about it.
And I just did a presentation with the Australian Chiropractors Association around the same stuff, the same premise is when you're treating our people, when you go to a therapist and they'll ask you on a scale of 0 to 10, particularly if it's an osteo, physio or chiro, how much pain you're in. Well, we don't use the word pain in our clinic because I say to them, Aboriginal people are the most over-medicated, over-researched people. And again, language is really important to me. So I don't want someone coming in just for I've got to the point where I've empowered my community to come in even for a service, I say, but they're not in pain. So I don't want you to ask them and put that word into their mind if they're not in pain. So I want you to allow them to tell you how they're feeling. And if they say pain, then you can do that. But quite often they'll say, I'm just a bit sore, or this hurts and that hurts. So that's been really challenging for the students because they've been for 5 years taught at university 0 to 10 in pain. So we reframe that. And the other word that we reframe at clinic is trauma, because when they also are doing the intake form, can you tell me about any trauma that you've had? And from a chiro perspective, they're talking about predominantly broken bones, car accidents. When you ask most of the time mob, you'll go, I don't want to tell you that. And then already instantly you've lost that disconnect with the person coming in for that treatment. So I'm really naughty about that. We've even changed up the intake sheets, really undone all that. And I say, now you have to code switch when you go back to university. It's like driving a car. You got to drive a certain way to get the license. And then when you've graduated, you drive how you want to drive. Same with university. You've got all those technical skills with how you treat, but I want you to be more mindful of your connection to the person that's on the bed and the language that you're using and infusing in their brain. So, and the feedback from the students has been really beautiful and powerful, the way that they've seen the responses from the person on the bed and how that works. And they talk right through it. And I remind the students that have got their last 6 months to before they graduate, you are not the power. You're in partnership with the person on the bed. So I want you to even breathe with them. I want you to tell them every movement. And they've talked about how much more responsive the body is when they do that as opposed to when they don't. So that's one thing I've been doing there, CJ, but that was just about the repatriation work, which has been huge, and looking at the reclamation and repatriation from around the world with all our peoples from across Australia that have been out there. And the things that I've been finding, it's been some weeks I say I'm lucky I get treated to actually remove it, how I'm feeling.
Yeah, very good. Got another comment here as well from Meg Williams, Professor Meg Williams, who's been on a few times.
I think I remember her from your camp.
You would have, yes, you would have. She said, thank you all, so good to hear you all. And I just want to mention Meg, as I said, Professor Meg Williams. She's actually done something really extraordinary, and she's gone back and she's become an Aboriginal health worker. So I just want to congratulate her on that massive turnaround. And I know she's actually doing placement now in one of the jails, so which is a big passion of hers as well. And she's going to actually come and do a little bit of placement with us at Mibbenbar as well. So fantastic. I just think it's an unbelievable way to do things. So well done to Meg Williams. And thank you for doing that. And thank you for the kind words. I also got Warren Towney again here. He said, really needed to see this today. Funny how the higher power works. I'm stuck in bed sick and not at my AA meeting tonight. Either way, I get a head full of goodness.
Yes,
thank you, brother.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
So that's just beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Amazing how things work. Amazing. Yeah, yeah.
And Meg Williams just said, yay, feeling more whole. So
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, yeah. Meg, when I was working, I suppose, in the leadership centre, I ended up going back and doing some work around mental health. So, back on the ground, delivering mental health workshops and stuff. So, just loved that, face-to-face interaction. Sometimes you miss it when you work at a sort of like a policy level and you don't policies don't equate to what life is, on the ground. So it's really about getting back and, working with people face to face and, getting to know them, building those relationships is all fantastic stuff, and I really miss it because I used to do a lot of it back in the day. Yeah.
Well, I mean, CJ, just on that, I mean, this is how this actual check-in started, was during COVID, when we both were missing our work in community, and we thought, what way can we get, our little fix, if you like. It was probably a little bit selfish as well, because I know if you talk to Lisa, I was really struggling back then, not being able to get out and do our work, and I know you were the same. And it's just been, 5.5 years later, it's still going. So
still going.
Yeah.
Not these two fellas again.
Yeah, not these two idiots again.
I'm glad you brought that up, because halfway through this session, this thing was jumping in my head where I actually want to talk about that with you both. And it was when you talked about celebration, Jack, and then I was thinking about, I don't even think you both celebrate the impact you're having on the world. If you think about that 5.5 years and the commitment that you've both given, which is a huge commitment, week in, week out, and when you can't show up, you put it in now and apologise and reschedule. And you think about, if you were feeling like that, imagine, I wish you could do the data of how many views you've had over that 5.5 years, and the comments that you've had, and the true, real impact that you've had on people. You would undoubtedly have saved lives. And even with the people that you have come on that have then also shared contacts and ways to impact people's lives, I don't think you both celebrate that enough. And it's not, sometimes to celebrate, it's hard because you think, is that coming from ego? And it's not. And I think some people it does, but not, I can't see that from you two, but I think, that also fills your soul and is leading by example to say, you know what, we have done well. And I thank you. And I haven't been able to get onto every single one that you have, and I would love that. Sometimes I'm out of service, sometimes I don't have internet, or God knows where I am or what am I doing. But the fact that you are accessible and that you're consistent in a lot of people's lives that have a lot of inconsistency in their life. That's huge. You've changed people's lives.
I feel very emotional about that.
Yes.
It's not often I'm stuck for words, but I think I'm a little bit stuck for words here. So
thank you.
Beautiful words.
Yeah, and you're right, Annie. Like, it's we don't really know what impact we have with people. You know what I mean? We're just here talking. We've provided an avenue for people to check in and sit down, have a listen, or it's a bit like your book. It's kind of like, oh, let's listen to JB and CJ tonight, and see what they're up to, because there could have been something happening in the background that we don't know about, that they just jumped on and, decided to have a listen, we don't know what the impact that might have, or how that affected them, sort of stuff. But, this is why we did it in 2020, is because, people were stuck, isolated. They were just, weren't able to do anything really, especially in Victoria. You just weren't able to move.
And how many did we have on from Victoria and Melbourne that were really struggling? And we were told that it helped immensely with people's well-being and mental health and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, look, we do appreciate that, and we have probably got the right person on there. Meg Williams, even though she's back to a health worker, she is actually an evaluation guru. So we could ask her a few things about that.
Yeah.
I think it's really important, and it's even that lad that just spoke then that said, he's in bed, he's not feeling well, missed his AA, but you guys are providing him something that is missing over there just by having this yarn and being. Even though it's online, they're still part of it, because your energy, it's really hard to connect to people online, but both of your energies really extends through that and hits them in the heart, I say. So I just can't thank you enough. And 5.5 years is a huge commitment, even when you've had your own business and other issues going on, you've still turned up and showed up, which is huge.
Stephen Simpson also said, "Big impact, boys," and he said, "Need to do that. It sucks in my job sometimes. All the politics make me unwell sometimes." Yes. And then he said, "Can't even speak." No. Yeah. I mean, Stephen's got a pretty high pressure job as well, as CEO of the Queensland Homelessness Network. So, well done, brother, and you keep doing what you do, and it's fantastic work and really noble work that you do as well, brother. So
yes, that's right, and sometimes you don't get that, that appreciation. You know what I mean? And you've just done that for Stephen, mate. Look, it's just, how often does he hear that kind of stuff? And it's really important. And same with you, Arnie. You're telling us what we may have influenced or saved, or stuff like that. We don't hear that too often, but and we don't. Well, sometimes we do, but it's kind of like, we do this because we, we're kind of here. We know what it's like, and basically it's something that we love doing, I guess, JB, isn't it, brother? And
I mean, we absolutely love it, and we're still trying to work out how we're going to be able to keep it running, and it might be that it's not alive. We might have to, because of the time difference when CJ moves in a couple of weeks. We're going to have to try and orchestrate something that we might have to do a pre-recording and put that up at 5:30 or whatever. But we're really keen to keep it going and really love what we do, and we love working with community. So
yeah, JB, I just had a look, and it's 10:27 in Madrid, so I don't think it's going to be too much of a problem, brother.
Okay.
Can I just add there too? I also want to acknowledge your wives that actually have to, but have supported the 5.5 years with you guys. Like, it's a huge commitment on their part as well, and you don't see them, but I acknowledge both Lisa and Michelle as well for their commitment to supporting and upholding both of you to be able to do this. And I also just want to add with what Stephen said. He just also made me think about. I think you provide for, when he said that the high stressors also within all these policies, I think you connect everybody by sharing the stories that are on here, that you're not alone. Like, there's sometimes when you're going through things, you think, oh my God, is this just me? Why is nobody else seeing this? And, you get in a bit of a, I'm all alone in this situation, where when you're hearing people talk on here and hearing you two talk, both of you, across, particularly around the Aboriginal space, or every space, it happens a lot. So I think it helps you feel that you're not alone in how you feel. So you're not abnormal, you're not alone, you're not thinking weird. It helps connect this. You're not alone, basically, is what I'm saying.
Yeah,
beautiful.
Yeah. And we've had some really good, guests on, but also our followers, that haven't come on yet. And we hope that they put their hand up and say, JB, CJ, I'd love to jump on. And these people really, we don't know what they do in their community, and I would imagine that it's only good. They deal with a lot of stuff as well, so sometimes, the job can be pretty hard, but they're still there. They turn up every day. I always think that, like you say, you always turn up. I wake up in the morning, I have to go and do stuff. I've got to do it, because, the people depend on me. And it's not only people depend on you, but it's actually you, who have got a passion that can't do it because, or want it, aren't able to do it that day, but you still have to get up and do it. You know what I mean? It's kind of like, it's difficult. And that's the same with us, I suppose, me and JB, because, we go through a lot of stuff as well, and there's been a lot of trauma happening whilst we're, preparing to come online, or sometimes it doesn't happen because of the, trauma or loss, sort of stuff. So we have to deal with that ourselves, and we're thankful that, our community help us out as well. So it's really that two-way kind of thing, it's fantastic. But yeah, we're, I think JB, you'd say that we're pretty happy with, what we do, how we do it. We didn't know what we were doing really when we first got on.
We still don't, brother. So does it matter?
It doesn't matter.
Hey, if there's two that ever wing it, brother, it's me and you. So
we could pretend. Well, I think so.
100%. What do they say? Fake it until you make it.
Yeah,
we're gambling, you know. That's
yeah. I've got another couple of comments, and then we'll say goodbye. But Megan Williams said, "Ooh, evaluation, accountability, and transparency." So, yep, okay.
Yes.
And Stephen said, "And what sucks even more is our team, Jack, is not in the finals." Yeah, thanks for reminding me too, Stephen. Thank you.
Thank you, mate. Yes. Not good. Not good.
All right. Beautiful to hear both of your voices and see your beautiful faces. Thanks for joining us, Auntie April. Thanks to everyone for joining in, and some beautiful comments there, April. It's just the work that you're doing is amazing. So be proud of that. We'll chalk it up for you. We'll get that link up there so that people can buy what they need to buy off you. And good luck with that. And thank you. And I'll see you soon.
Yes.
I hand it over to CJ.
Yes, no, thank you very much, April. Yeah, you inspire me. You're just awesome. You know what you do, and I know that we all haven't had the best. There are times when we like I said, don't feel like doing stuff. I was very interested in the Alaskan community you have, and follow you a little bit around that. But it's amazing. You've got those relationships in other parts of the world, and only because you do what you do. And it's you are who you are. So thank you very much for coming on today, and hopefully we'll catch up soon. I will be looking at sending you an address so that we can release a couple of books. Yeah, that'd be great.
Can I just say there's one other comment there too, and it's from Baya Coolwell. Just lost it. She said, "Well done, JB and CJ, and to all at Mibbenbar community. Appreciate your work, no doubt." A massive impact, and thank you for consistency and just being there for more. Thank you, Baya. Really appreciate that.
Yeah, beautiful. And CJ, I think one day we can get one of my Alaskan sisters. Would love to come on the show. You just have to work out time, so it could even be a pre-recording. But they're absolutely beautiful, amazing. And you would get a lot out of the chat, and they would love to meet you guys both as well. So we can organise that.
Yeah, I don't think we've done this before, haven't we, JBs?
We actually have. We've done it a couple of times, and we were talking to Auntie April about that, and we will tee it up, and and I think it'll be fantastic to be able to have even a special check-in, if you like. So
yeah, definitely, absolutely, yeah,
beautiful,
very fantastic. Well, listen,
and just quickly there, Derek's going to dance his heart out. He says,
"Good on you, Derek." We need to see that actually.
Yeah, can we get that on video, brother?
Yeah. Right, thank you, guys. Appreciate your time.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, everyone. Have a great rest of the week, and see you